Nakahanda na raw na sumisid sa Taal Lake ang Philippine Coast Guard oras na matanggap ang hudyat mula sa Department of Justice o DOJ. Kukumpirmahin ng mga divers kung doon nga ba talaga itinapon ang higit 30 sabongero na bigla na lamang naglaho noon pang 2021. Dahil dito, tila unti-unti na umanong malalahad sa publiko kung sino-sino nga ba talaga ang utak o nasa likod ng kagimbal-gimbal na sinapit ng mga nawawalang subongero na isa umanong kilalang personalidad, makapangyarihan na nasa pwesto pa umano ng gobyerno na tila hindi man lang umano nabigyan ng aksyon noon sa kanyang termino. Sa kanilang pagsisid sa Taal Lake, ito ang kanilang matinding natuklasan na talaga namang labis na ikinagulat ng marami. Narito ang buong detalye. Ngunit bago tayo magpatuloy, huwag kalimutang i-like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more updates and for more upcoming videos. Maraming salamat! Naka-standby na ang 60 technical divers ng Philippine Coast Guard para sa isasagawang seaborne patrol operation sa Taal Lake sa Batangas. Yan ay para matuldukan na ang malagim na misteryo sa nawawalang higit na 30 sabongero na inilibing umano sa lawa. Kung matutuloy, ito raw ang pinakaunang retrieval operation sa Taal Lake sa lalim na 174 meters ng Taal Lake. Nasa 100 metrong lalim lang daw ang nasisisi ng divers sa PCG. Masyado na kasi umanong malabo ang tubig sa mas malalim pang parte ng lawa. Dahil dyan, posible raw na kailanganin ang koordinasyon ng Philippine Navy sa operasyon. Sa ngayon, go signal na lang ng Department of Justice ang hinihintay ng PCG para simulan na ang search and retrieval sa pinakahuling paglantad ng whistleblower na si alias Totoy. Hindi raw bababa sa 30 sangkot sa umano'y pagkidnap sa mga nawawalang sabongero. 10 raw dyan ay sibilyan habang 20 ay mga pulis. Samantala, isang matinding pasabog na naman ang binitawan ng kontrobersyal na aktres at socialite na si Gretchen Barreto na tila hindi na napigilang isiwalat ang umano'y lihim ng dating PNP chief at ngayon senador na si Ronald Bato de la Rosa. Sa isang private gathering na tila naging informal na press conference, inilahad ni Gretchen Barreto na si Bato de la Rosa ay isa sa mga matagal ng parokyano ng isabong o ang online na bersyon ng iligal na sabong na ilang taon na ring iniimbestigahan sa Senado. Pero ang mas nakakagulat ayon pa kay Gretchen, ang umano'y suot ni Bato na mamahaling relo na nagkakahalaga ng milyones. Pero hindi pa roon nagtatapos ang revelasyon. Ibinunyad din ni Gretchen na may malaking utang pa umano si Senator Bato de la Rosa kay Kate Villalon, isang kilalang personalidad sa mundo ng online sabong.
Business, Bato. Stop grandstanding. Just get down to the investigation. Ang mahal ng relo ni Bato, saan kaya nagaling yan? My God. A senator has that much. Oh my gosh. How did Bato ever become a senator? Tignan mo yung line of questioning niya. Kailangan talaga lawyer ang mga nakaupo. People, vote wisely, don't vote about my gosh, dapat sa'yo, game show. Tumatalpak kasi si Bato na to Bato, ilabas natin yung mga talpak mo kaya. Alam ko, may balance to sa'yo, Kate, no? Kate Villalon. The truth will come out, Bato, soon.
Matatanda ang isa sa Senator Bato sa mga senador na nanguna sa pag-iimbestiga sa industriya ng isabong, lalo na noong pumutok ang balita sa pagkawala ng 34 na sabongero. Ngunit sa revelasyong ito ni Gretchen, maraming netizens ang nagtatanong, may conflict o interest ba? At totoo nga ba ang mga akusasyon? Sa ngayon, wala pang opisyal na pahayag si Senator Bato de la Rosa kaugnay ng mga paratang. Pero sinabi niya na may case siyang magsuot ng mamahaling relo. Gayunman, ilang malalapit na kalyado niya ang nagsasabing imposibleng totoo ito at maruming taktika lamang para sirain ang kanyang reputasyon. Hindi na bago sa publiko ang mga pasabog ni Gretchen Barreto mula sa kanyang paglalantad ng mga isyong pampolitika hanggang sa personal na revelasyon tungkol sa mga kilalang personalidad. Tila ba wala siyang sinisino pagdating sa pagsisiwalat ng katotohanan o mga chismis ayon sa kanyang mga kritiko.
Resource persons from DOJ, Attorney George Ortal, from the PNP, Police General Leonardo Carlos, Police Major General Eliseo Cruz, Director ng CIDG, and guest here, sir. I'll just get their names, sir. From the NBI, sir, Director Bukaling and Director from NBI, sir, Regional Director of NCR, Regional Director Emetrio Dongallo, sir. Good morning. From the Philippine National Police, we would like to acknowledge the presence of Police Lieutenant Colonel Wendell Arenas, Police Staff Sergeant Ben, Jovelyn Tomagos, Police Staff Sergeant Troy Paragas, Police Staff Sergeant Alfred Manes Ben, and Andes, Police Staff Sergeant Denorlo Denar Roda. Thank you, sir. And Police Lieutenant Colonel Orapa. Thank you, sir. Sir, we'll be recognizing the other guests later, sir, when they take their seats, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Kumsek. For the last 3 hearings, we have heard several information and updates on the ongoing investigation on missing Sabugueros. Today, we are determined to tie up all loose ends and fill in the gaps as necessary, so that this committee, with the help of my hardworking colleagues, can prepare and submit the committee report for plenary deliberation. But before I continue, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Senator Bongo, who is present virtually. Good morning, Senator Bongo. Recommended actions will be formed according to the information gathered from our committee hearings, including submitted documents. Layunin natin na sa pag-implementa ng ating mga magiging rekomendasyon ay maiiwasan na muli ang mga ganitong nakakalungkot na pangyayari. At sa tulong ng ating mga kapulisan at ng Department of Justice, mapapanagot ang mga taong may kagagawan sa mga krimen at mabibigyan ng hustisya ang mga pamilya ng biktima. Maraming salamat po. Before we begin our discussion, may we know if Senator Tolentino would like to give his opening statement?
Just for the record, and I'd like to place some jurisdictions consider today as Easter Monday. Yesterday was Easter Sunday. 2 days before was Good Friday. And it's been part of the Filipino culture to recognize our faith-based practices, noticeably on Good Friday. Good Friday, all the malls were closed. Since I was a small child, all the big establishments were closed, traditionally. And out of respect for our faith. I read a paper yesterday that there was an event that was supposed to take place but that did not push through because of unruly crowd. I'm referring to the traditional Good Friday celebrations around Quiapo Church. Yesterday, there was even the Good Friday even celebrated an event in Sampaloc and almost all areas in the Philippines, because we are deeply a faith-based Christian Catholic country, although we're still celebrating the Ramadan today. But Mr. Chairman, I noticed that even on a Good Friday, contrary to what PAGCOR has been saying that they have been regulating Isabong, on that very Good Friday, 2 days ago, there was Isabong. E nakagulat naman po yun that there should be at least a semblance of respect for our traditions. And I asked PAGCOR why this happened. If PAGCOR is listening, I took note of the fact that several PAGCOR casinos were closed out of respect for the Good Friday commemoration. Pero ang nagre-regulate, hinayaan yung nare-regulate na magbukas at mag-operate. There were Isabong activities last Good Friday. Just for the record, Mr. President, it would probably take us several more hours or even weeks or months to really craft a legislation for the 19th Congress which would reflect not just the needs of the times, but even our deeply rooted character as a Christian nation. Yun po yung kulang. Yun po yung nawala dito, yung tradisyon. Ang naalala ko lang sa Sabong, naalala ko lang sa manok, yung si St. Peter ba yun, na may hawak ng manok nung araw. Pero there was a gross violation of our faith. I don't know why it was done. Probably PAGCOR slept on its job. PAGCOR probably forgot that they're supposed to regulate as they claim that they're regulating. Just for the record, Mr. Chairman, I would want that as part of my manifestation and opening statement. Salamat po, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Tolentino. This representation also would like to associate with your sentiments that you just aired this morning. Talaga nakakalungkot talaga dahil you can just imagine Bernie Santo, patuloy pa rin yung Isabong. Parang hindi na nirespeto yung ating faith ng yung ating Catholic Church ay parang hindi na nirespeto yung ating belief. But anyway, Mr. Senator Tolentino, this committee would like to seek the feedback coming from PAGCOR why this happened. Alam mo, yung mga politiko, yung mga tumatakbo ngayon na nagkakadera pa na dahil kukunting panahon na lang bago mag-eleksyon, ay nirespeto itong ating yung ating Semana Santa. Binawal ang pagpangampanya, pero ang Isabong walang bawal-bawal, tuloy. So ako po'y nalulungkot. Sana makarating ito sa atensyon ng PAGCOR. Bakit hinayaan nila ito? Thank you for that observation, Senator Tolentino. Before we begin our discussion, may I request the Committee Secretary, Mr. Lawrence Asierto, to administer the oath of all resource persons physically and virtually present into this hearing.
Thank you, sir. May we request those people who have not yet taken their oath to please stand, especially the people here and at that side. Thank you. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this investigation? Thank you. Please take seats.
Thank you, Comsec. For orderly conduct of today's hearing, you would like to give the floor first to those we invited because their names were mentioned last hearing. But to start, may we call on the PNP CIDG to give us some updates on their investigation? You have the floor,
Yes, sir.
General Eli Cruz.
To the Honorable Chairman of the Senate Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs, Senator Ronald De La Rosa, sir. All distinguished senators, physically and virtually present, our GPNP, Police General Junardo Carlos, sir. And friends from the media, all attendees for today's Senate hearing, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. The CIDG manifests its full support to this Honorable Committee's endeavor on conducting this investigation on the missing persons involved in Isabong-related incidents in view of the recommending legislative measures that would address similar incidents. And we would like to inform this honorable body that out of the 8 sensational cases being investigated by the CIDG involving 34 missing persons engaged in Isabong, the CIDG investigators have already filed 2 separate cases against the suspects and several jandos involved in the incidents that happened in Manila Arena in Santa Ana, Manila, which is the case number 1, and Las Cos residence in San Pablo City, which is the case number 8. Just to refresh of what we have reported last Senate hearing on March 21, 2022, regarding the breakthrough on the investigation in connection with the case of Ricardo John Lasco, a master agent of Isabong who was kidnapped by more than 10 armed men inside his residence in San Pablo City, Laguna, on August 30, 2021, wherein the victims and witnesses positively identified policemen as suspects. These policemen were formerly assigned at the Provincial Intelligence Branch of Laguna Police Provincial Office based in Santa Cruz, Laguna. On April 11, 2022, the CIDG, together with the victims and complaining witnesses, filed criminal complaints for violation of kidnapping and serious illegal detention, punishable under Article 267, and robbery committed by a band, punishable under Article 293, in relation to Article 296 of the Revised Penal Code against the 5 identified policemen who are now assigned in Police Regional Office Calabarzon, Regional Personnel and Holding Admin Unit, or RPHAW, and other jandos before the National Prosecution Service of the Department of Justice. In the issue of brothers Darwin and Alvin Indon, who were allegedly involved in game fixing, it is claimed that they were falsely charged for violation of Republic Act 9165 and presently detained in Laguna Provincial Jail in Santa Cruz, Laguna, identified the same group of police officers involved. And these police officers are now under summary hearing proceedings before the Regional Internal Affairs Service 4A for their administrative case. In the other incidents of missing Sabongeros, the CIDG will continue to conduct investigation to gather more pieces of evidence as well as sworn statements of credible witnesses for eventual filing of appropriate charges against the suspects. To this honorable committee and to the rest of the Filipino people, rest assured that the CIDG and the Philippine National Police as a whole will continue to do our best efforts towards the resolution of these cases. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, General Eliseo Cruz, for that update. So, 2 out of 8 na tayo. Dalawa pa lang nakapile na kaso. May 6 pa na bubunuin mo pa yan. But anyway, I hope and I pray that kahit na mag-adjourn na itong hearing natin na ito, because this cannot go on forever. Otherwise, mag-isip sila na may iba tayong layunin dito. So this might be the last hearing. Kahit na ma-adjourn na itong committee hearings na ito, itong investigation na ito, I hope that you will continue for the sake of justice of these people who are still missing as of the moment. So ituloy ninyo yan, huwag nyo hintuan, at sana na mananagot pati yung mga malalaking tao na nasa likuran nito. Justice must be served. Huwag nating hinto ito. Thank you. Actually, this hearing will be focused on today's hearings will be focused on case number 7. Ito yung inabduct doon sa gas station ng Shell gas station sa May Kawayan, Bulacan. So, Kumsek, yung Manyo Brothers, andito na? Okay, we'll start with Attorney Jonathan Galicia. You're the chief anti-illegal drug task force of NBI, right?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, kayo yung nasa kustodiyan ninyo yung dalawang Manyo brothers, am I correct?
Mr. Chairman, they are in the custody of the NBI detention center.
Okay, pero kayo yung nag-file ng kaso sa kanila for drug charges, am I
Yes,
correct?
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, can you relate to this committee? Paano nyo na-discover itong Manyo brothers in relation to this case?
Your Honor, they were arrested in an entrapment operation in Batangas.
Tapos,
Later on, they revealed some information about their involvement in some of the missing persons that were complained to the NBI, Mr. Chairman.
so yun nga, according to yung wife nung missing person na si ito, ang victims nito ay si Janver Francisco alias Lala, golden agent of Pitmaster with estimated salary income of 280,000 a month. Tapos kasama niya yung kanyang driver na si Frank Itak Tabaranza, who is also missing. Nakita mo natin doon sa CCTV na silang dalawa ay inabduct doon sa Shell gas station sa May Kawayan, Bulacan. Gusto kong malaman, Atty. Galicia, ano na-connect itong dalawa dito sa kaso ng abduction ni John Ver Francisco and Frank Tabaranza. Can you give us a background there?
Mr. Chairman, we have not yet completed our investigation. We have not yet completed our investigation on this matter, Mr. Chairman.
During the previous hearing, sabi nung asawa na kayo daw ang nagbigay ng idea sa kanila about doon sa dalawang hinahanap niya, yung si Manyo Brothers. Wala, hindi ba kayo ang nagbigay sa kanya ng idea about the Manyo Brothers?
Mr. Chairman, the agent on case is here, no? But I haven't received any reports on this, official report on this matter, Mr. Chairman.
Atty. Galicia, hindi ganong maklaro yung pwede mong tanggalin. Mayroon naman tayong harang sa sides.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have not, the agent on case has not yet submitted a report on this matter.
So being the chief of the NBI Anti-Illegal Drug Task Force, you have no idea as of yet paano may connect itong mga tao na ito, yung dalawang Manyo Brothers na nakakulong?
I
Wala
have
idea?
no specific details as of now, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Hintayin na lang natin magdating yung dalawa. Andiyan na? Okay. So dito sa RDEU, ang pinaka-chief ninyo ngayon is Lieutenant Colonel Ryan J. Orapa. Am I correct?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Pwede mong may kwento sa amin paano ka napunta sa RDEU at saan ka nanggaling previous assignment before RDEU?
Honorable Chair, I'm currently terminated March 25, 2022 and reassigned currently at Regional Holding and Accounting Unit of NCRPO. But I take post November 22, 2020 as the Chief Regional Drug Enforcement Unit NCRPO, Honorable Chair. And prior to my assignment to RDEU, I was designated, dated October 22, 2018 as the OIC and eventually the Acting Chief Intelligence Unit of Laguna Police Provincial Office up to November 17, 2020, Your Honorable Chair.
2018 to 2020, you're the Chief PIB ng Laguna PPO.
Yes, sir.
2018 to 2020. Then after that, nag-RDEO ka na ng NCRPO.
Yes, sir.
May allegation yung asawa nung nawawala na si Janber Francisco na yung kumuha ng kanyang asawa at saka yung kanyang driver ay taga-RDEO ng NCRPO. Do you confirm this or you deny this allegation?
We totally deny such allegation, Honorable Chair.
Anyway, I can give my further questioning after andito na yung Manyo Brothers dahil sila yung nakukunik doon eh. Sila yung nagtuturo sa inyo, according to the wife, na kayo ang kumuha at kasama daw silang dalawa na kumuha nung dalawang missing. So hintayin natin yung dalawa. Oh, dito muna ako kay Colonel Leandro Gutierrez, Chief of Police of Mikawayan, Bulacan. Good morning. You are the Chief of Police until now.
Yes, sir. I am the current Chief of Police of Mikawayan City, sir. I was designated there, sir, last October 29, 2021, sir.
2021.
Yes, sir.
October 2021. So, hindi ikaw yung Chief of Police nung panahon nung abduction doon sa Shell Police Station?
Yes, sir.
Pero na-check mo doon sa records ninyo na according to the wife, may mga coordination documents daw yung RD Regional Drug Enforcement Unit ng SRPO doon sa police station ninyo na mag-conduct sila ng legitimate police anti-drug operations doon sa area mo, sa Mikawayan. Do you have the documents?
Sir, upon checking the record, sir, I have secured a copy of coordination from NCRPO, RMFB NCRPO Intelligence Section that they will operate in the area of Region 3, Proper A, AOR, from April 17 to April 20 of 2021, sir. Nakalagay din po dito yung mga sasakyan, Vios at 2 motorcycle. Yun po yung nakalagay sa coordination na na-receive po namin, sir.
Ano nakalagay ang date? Anong date? April
April 17, 2021, sir.
hanggang?
April 20, 2021 po, sir.
So pasok itong insidente kasi the incident happened April 18, 2021.
Yes, sir. Meron pa po kaming isang copy, sir, ng coordination. Marami po kasi pumapasok.
Sino nag-coordinate sa'yo? Anong unit?
Yung po sa una kong binanggit, sir, is RMFB NCRPO Intelligence Section.
RMFB NCRPO Intelligence Section.
Yes, sir.
Regional Mobile Force.
Yes, sir. At meron pa po kaming isang coordination na na-secure, sir. Same date, April 17, RMFB Intelligence Section that will operate on NCR, Region 4A and Region 3. The date of duration of operation dun po sa coordination nila is dated April 17 to April 19, 2021. Meron naman pong nakalagay ditong 5 sasakyan, sir. Mitsubishi Adventure, isa, at 4 motor, at Honda ADV marked vehicle.
What's the nature of their operation?
Most wanted person, validation, monitoring, and possible police operation. Based on this coordination, sir.
So ang most wanted person, it did not state na anti-drug operation.
No, sir. Dito po sa hawak namin, hindi po.
At saka ibang unit yan. RMFB yan eh.
RMFB Intelligence Section, sir.
Kayo ba, RDEO, kapag kayo nagkakandak nag-coordinate sa police station, talagang RDEO ang nilalagay yung unit. Am I correct?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
So hindi sila ang nag-coordinate. Iba yung unit yon.
Ibang unit po yung nakalagay dito sa coordination, sir.
Sinong RD ng SRPO during the time? Nagtataka ko, bakit ang Regional Mobile Force aabot dyan sa Bulacan, magkakandak ng most wanted person? Trabaho ba ng RMFB yan? Yung manghuhuli ng most wanted? Kung RTO siguro, maniniwala ako. Or RIDMD, yung Regional Investigation Detective Management, or RTO, yung Regional Intelligence, or RSOG, Regional Special Operations Group. Pero yung RMFB, Regional Mobile Force Battalion, alam ko, trabaho na ang counter-insurgency, hindi involved ba sila sa panguhuli ng most wanted person? Chief NP, in behalf of that Chief of the RDNCRPO, can you enlighten on this? Paano na-involve sa most wanted persons operations yung batalyon ng RMFB?
Sir, can I ask a question, sir, to the Mikawayan Bulacan Chief of Police? Based on the paper, sir.
Oh, sige.
Do you have a name in that?
Derek mo na sa akin. Derek mo sa akin.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask who is the person that made the coordination
Yun.
with that particular operation?
Sino?
Ang team leader po nakalagay dito, sir, Police Captain Renz Figueroa.
Kindly check kung saan nito assign Chief NP.
We'll contact, sir. That's precisely why I asked the name, so we can trace where did he get his authority to be able to operate or to make coordination outside his AOR,
Figueroa.
Figueroa. So, kukunin namin, sir, yun, sir.
Pwede ngayon dahil
Yes, sir.
we hope to adjourn this investigation today.
Yes, sir.
So malaman natin ngayon kung sino yung Figueroa yan at saan yan assign.
Yes, sir. We'll do that. In this particular case, sir, I can only look at it that if he got that Captain Figueroa got an authority coming from a higher officer, probably the RD, if he got it coordinate to make that coordination to go outside of the NCR AOR.
Yes, wala akong problema dyan. Policeman naman yan. Kahit RMFB yan, they can do everything that a policeman should do. Arrest suspects, go on, conduct police operations. Lahat ng trabaho ng police pwede lang gampanan. Pero yung nga lang, nagtataka ako, para bang ibang unit nag-operate sa ibang mandate. Ha? Ibang unit, ibang mandate, ibang nag-operate. But pwede. It's possible at pwedeng gawin nila yan. I was once your chief PNP, right? So alam ko yan, pwede mo i-deploy yung police dahil kahit na nga sa banda assign yung pare na yung police na yan o kaya chaplain service assign yung police na yan, pag sinabihan ka ng boss mo na arestuhin mo yan or kahit siya mismo, pwede siya mag-aresto dahil pulisya. He has sworn duty to serve and protect. Kailangan niyang, hindi ba niya pwede sabihin, may krimen nangyari. Ay, hindi ko yan hulihin. Pulis ako, pero taga-banda man ako. Music mo lang ang alam ko. Hindi ko pwede hulihin yan. No, he can't say that. Or hindi niya pwede sabihin na, hindi ko pwedeng hulihin yung kriminal dahil taga-chaplain service ako. Ang trabaho ko dito is magkakandak lang ng mass doon sa simbahan. No, pulis ka. Pwede mong gampanan yan. Kaya please, klaruhin mo yan kung sino yan before we adjourn this hearing. Okay?
Mr. Chair, we'll do that right now, having the name and then where he got the authority to be able to make that coordination outside the NCR AOR, sir.
Thank you. And Comsec, kindly secure copy of this coordination document na hawak-hawak ng Chief of Police ng Mikawayan.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So kayo, Colonel Urapa, hindi mo tao yun, yung captain tao mo ba yun o hindi?
No, sir.
Ano pangalan nun? Man? Colonel Gutierrez? Sino yung nag-coordinate? Ang pangalan?
Police Captain Renz Christopher Figueroa, sir.
Police Captain Renz Figueroa. Hindi mo ito tao?
No, sir.
Wala kang tao na ganyang pangalan?
Wala po, sir.
At hindi mo ito unit?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ano pa yung dalawang sinasabi mo? Dalawang coordination yan? Yung isa?
Sir, yung isa naman po is RMFB NCRPO Intelligence Section led by Police Major Roderick A. Pasilan.
Chipinpe. Meron pa isa. Roderick Pasilan. Ano yan?
Police Major Roderick A. Pasilan, sir.
Mr. Chair, yes, sir. We're now coordinating with the NCRPO, particularly the first person, and now we will be calling that second person that made the coordination with the May Kawayan PNP.
Okay, going back to Colonel Urapa. Do you have a person by this name?
Negative, sir.
Wala kang inutusan na tao na ganito?
Wala, sir.
Thank you. Partner of Jennifer Francisco. Ganun ka na ba? Registered out, Kumsek? Last meeting, no?
Yes, sir. Naka-out na po siya last
Okay na,
meeting, sir.
tapos ka na last meeting.
Hello,
Sino?
sir. Good morning po.
Yeah, thank you. Sino nagsabi sa'yo na may coordination papers yung
Yung police
nag-operate?
din po ng may kawayan.
May Kawayan Police Station.
Tsaka kasi kulang po sila. May isa pa pong pulis na si Natividad Alrec.
Sino?
Si Natividad Alrec po, wala po dyan.
Natividad. Saan si Natividad?
Sir, excuse me, sir. As per record, sir, Mr. Natividad is at the ground floor because he has cough and cold, sir. That's why cannot enter the premises, sir. Thank you.
Health protocol dictates that hindi siya pwede umakyat dahil may cough and cold.
Okay po.
Baka mahawa
Sir,
tayo dito.
Ano po yun siya po yung talagang kumakausap dun sa Manyo Brothers. And then, kasama niya po yun sila Ma'am Jovelyn Tamago, sila Orapa po. Tapos po, may patunay po na magkakakilala sila. Si Jovelyn, tsaka sila Natividad, tsaka yung Manyo Brothers. Kasi may CCTV po kami ng NBI na kumakain sila. Magkakasama po sila doon.
Sino yung NBI na sinasabi mo?
Yung Task Force Anti-Illegal Drugs, yun po yung kasama ko nung mga panahon.
Anong pangalan niya?
Hindi na po.
Yung kasama mo na NBI? Na taga...
Nila Attorney Ramos po.
Ha?
Nila Attorney Eduardo Ramos.
Ramos?
Opo. Yun po, sila po yung nag-asikaso sa Manyo Brothers nung time na nun.
Okay. Tao mo ito, Atty. Galicia?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Ramos?
Yes.
Atty. Ramos. Thank you. Papunta ba siya ngayon dito? Kasama ba siya?
He's right here right now.
Saan si Ramos? Atty. Ramos? Pwede kang umupo dito para matanong kita. Tama pala, invited ka pala. Please administer the oath, Kumsek.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this investigation, sir?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Please take seat, sir.
Attorney Ramos, tinanong ko kayo na si Attorney Jonathan Galicia regarding sa insidente na ito, paano na-link yung Manyo Brothers na nasa kulungan ba niyo ito? Yung dalawang Manyo Brothers facing drug charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Paano na-connect dito sa abduction incident? Hindi niya kapa pa masyado ang kaso dahil ongoing pa yung investigation na ginagawa ng case officer daw. So in this case, are you the case officer?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm one of those NBI personnel who are investigating the case.
Okay, thank you. So, pwede ka magbigay linaw nito? Yung tanong ko kay Atty. Galicia kanina, pwede ko itanong sa'yo, paano na-link itong dalawang Manyo Brothers dito sa kaso na itong abduction?
Your Honor, actually
Pwede, Atty. Meron naman tayong harang sa gilid. Ayan, tagalin mo muna para maklaro. Thank you.
Your Honor, last January 9, 2021, na-aresto namin itong Manyo Brothers sa Batangas City. And we were with GMA News. So nung nilabas po nila sa news, they were identified by some of the victims. That's why, but so far as the case is concerned, considering the sensitivity of the case, I am not at liberty to go further, Your Honor. Actually, we have a hearing today.
Okay, just this particular case, gusto ko lang malaman paano na-connect nung nakita sa TV, ibig sabihin nakita ikaw ba nakakita sa Manyo Brothers?
Ano po, pinakita po sa akin ni attorney, sa aming lahat po.
Pinakita sa inyo
Opo.
yung picture ni Manyo, ng dalawang Manyo Brothers?
Opo. Ano po yon nung time na nun sila po nag-aasikaso talaga nun.
Okay.
NBI po.
So please continue, Atty.
Yes, sir. During the presentation of the GMA News presented the footage, they were identified by some of the complainants. So from there,
Yung Manyo Brothers, yung dalawa.
that is correct, sir.
Continue.
And we were also able to secure yung sinasabi ni Ms. Lado, yung watch
Opo.
So from there, again, Mr. Chair, pagpalmin po, I'm just an investigator. I cannot give any further comments.
Okay.
The investigation is
I
still
understand.
ongoing,
I
Mr.
understand.
Chairman.
Yun lang sa relo. Kasi very crucial ito. Yung relo nakuha sa Manyo Brothers, sinasabi mo,
Yes.
relo ng asawa mo.
Yes po.
Sigurado ka.
Opo. Sigurado po ako.
Alam mo, pag gumawa ang isang kumpanya ng relo, pwede sila gumawa ng 1,000
Sir, tsaka
ganung
namin na
relo.
din po kasi nung Manyo Brothers na binigay sa kanila nung asawa ko nung time na nadukot nila yun. Yung relo. Kasi hinihingi po daw nila. Then
Okay.
binigay daw ni Lala nung time na nadukot nila, April 18, 1 year na nga po ngayon eh.
Okay.
Di ba?
Hintayin natin yung Manyo Brothers.
Opo, sila po magpapatunay.
para ito.
Opo.
Binigay talaga ang
Binigay
relo.
po ni Lala sa kanila yung relo.
Sabi ni Manyo
Tapos
Brothers.
nung nakuha po ni Attorney Ramos yung Manyo Brothers, nakuha din nila yung relo ng asawa ko. Nung time din po, nung time na nun,
Sandali. Nung nakuha nila Ramos yung
ni Attorney Ramos yung Manyo Brothers, nakuha po din nila yung relo doon kay Manyo Brothers.
nakuha ang relo.
Opo. Tsaka yung kotse po, hindi rin po nabalik. Yung sasakyan nung nadukot nila yon, hindi na po nahanap yung sasakyan. Sasakyan ni John Bear Francisco.
Okay, wala tayo sa sakyan. Doon muna tayo sa relo.
Opo.
Do you confirm this, attorney? Na nakuha niyo yung relo sa posisyon ng Manyo Brothers? Nung nahuli niyo sila?
We showed the watch, but according to Ms. Ladaw, dun daw sa asawa niyan, Mr. Chairman.
My question is, nakuha niyo ito sa posisyon ng Manyo Brothers?
Yes, Your Honor, we submitted it before the regional trial court of Batangas.
Particularly, who among the Manyo Brothers ang may susutot noon?
Si Casio Manyo.
Casio?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Yun lang ang nakuha ninyo na item galing sa Manyo Brothers? Relo lang?
Your Honor, we see several evidence, but again, Your Honor, considering that the case is pending before the court, I cannot give any further details.
Yeah.
To
Okay lang.
avoid being to avoid violating the subjudicial rule, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Kumsik, Manyo Brothers, katagal ba naman matapos yung kuwan yan?
Sir,
Swab.
as per report po ngayon, na-swab na po sila. We're still waiting for their results, sir. Na-swab.
Okay. So, meantime, Colonel Orapa, itong Manyo Brothers, nahawak na yun ng NBI na nakakulong sa kanila, do you confirm na asset niyo ito? Mga tao niyo ito?
No, Your Honor.
No?
Hindi po namin sila asset at hindi po namin sila kilala, Honorable Chair.
So, hindi niyo kilala?
Yes, sir.
So, kung magkakaroon ng showdown kayo dito, magkaharapan kayo, makituro ka na kilala ka nila, paano yan?
Okay lang po, sir. Entitled naman sila for that. So, kami, sir, hindi namin sila kilala.
Basta as far as you're concerned,
As we are concerned, Your Honor, hindi namin sila kilala.
kayo, mga RDEO, PSG Dinar, Roda, may kilala kang Manyo Brothers?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Hindi po. Hindi
mo kilala?
Yes, Your Honor.
Wala kayong asset na ganon?
Wala po, Your Honor.
Ikaw, Anides, PSG Alfredo Anides.
Good morning, Honorable Chair.
Yes.
Wala po akong kilalang ganun.
Wala.
Wala po.
Ikaw,
Honorable Chair, wala po kaming kilalang taong gano'n na ginagawa.
ikaw, Jubilin Tamagos,
Good
PCSG.
morning po, Your Honor. Wala po kaming kilalang ganun.
Laging kilala. Hintayin na lang natin. Mag-ako yung dalawa. Friend. Alam niyo, ito na lang. Hindi na sana ako magkakandak pa ng fourth hearing eh. Pero ito lang, itong particular case na ito. Ay, bagong kuha nito eh. Yes, go ahead, Senator Tolentino.
While waiting for the swab results of the Manyo Brothers, can I ask that we now have the BIR personnel here.
Yes, yes.
Wala
Go ahead.
pong sayang na oras.
Okay.
BIR and Paymaya or GCash.
BIR, Paymaya, GCash. Nakita ko yung kuwan kayo na, yung abogado, si kuwan ko, kakusa ko sa ulo. Attorney. Dito. Suki ko na ito kaya kilala ko na ito. Nakailang hearing na ito dito.
Oo nga. BIR din to, BIR.
BIR ba yan? Hindi ba yan Paymaya?
Maya tao yan. GCash.
GCash. Dito, attorney. Para pag-usapan natin itong tungkol dito.
Habang iniintay natin yung Manyo Brothers, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. O BIR. Kumsik, BIR. Yung GCash. Dito. Attorney.
Sir, wala pong BIR regrets po yata sila. Tawag po kami ng tawag dun sa phone ng office nila at saka number nila, sir. Nitong Holy Week, sir, wala pong sumasagot, sir.
Nalaman kasi ni Senator Tolentino na hindi kumikita ang BIR diyan sa isabong niyan eh. Kaya umatras sila.
For the record, Mr. Chairman, the President gave BIR an instruction during a midnight ulat sa bayan that they should intensify tax collection efforts relative to isabong. So dapat nandito sila unless ang excuse ng BIR ngayon, kung nakikinig sila, ay dahil ngayon ata yung bayaran ng income tax return. Pero yun naman, yung resource person naman natin, hindi naman siya antiga-fill up nun. Sa bangko naman po yan. Yun ang mga collecting agents. Kaya siguro, Mr. Chairman, may we ask that we have a written letter emanating from the head of the BIR, Chairman Dulay, explaining their absence. Kung makakahabol pa, the better, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, maybe, Kumsik, tawagan nyo, baka pwede pang humabol dito. Very important yung kanilang presence, sabi mo.
Kailangan po ang BIR ngayon kasi ngayon ang bayaran ng buwis ngayong araw na ito. Ang lumalabas po sa records ko at inamin nila, for the record, Mr. Chairman,
yes,
inamin nila during our last hearing, I have the transcript here, March 21, na maglalabas sila ng bagong circular. Paano mabubuisan yung tax on winnings. At ganun din po kung paano mabubuisan ng karagdagang buwis yun pong mga operators ng isabong. Ganun din si GCash at Paymaya. Imaya tuloy na sabi ko, Paymaya. So, ito po yung hinihintay natin. I have the transcript here, Mr. Chairman. Ito po. Sa records natin with Mr. D or Attorney D of BIR, the representative of BIR. They promised to have a new circular and that was probably reinforced by the instructions given by the President several weeks ago, Mr. Chairman. So it's really worth noting that the absence of the BIR would make my line of questioning irrelevant because I will have no questions directed to the BIR unless they can show that lahat sila ay nakatao ngayon dun sa first day ng filing ng income tax return. But with that as it may, siguro ito na lang, pagtsatsagaan ko na lang itong GCash. Paymaya. Siguro GCash, habang hinihintay natin ng Manyo Brothers, may bago bang direktiba lumabas sa inyo na circular coming from the BIR that would require you to pay additional taxes? Attorney Escoto, you're under oath, ha?
Good morning, Your Honor. I am not aware of any directive from the BIR.
So what you're saying is that there is no new circular coming from the BIR, so apparently they have failed to comply with what was required of them during the last hearing. So no circular, no tax.
We have not received any circular from them.
No circular, without a circular, wala kayong babayarang karagdagan.
Yes, Your Honor.
Swerte nyo naman. Pero I read somewhere that there is a 55% increase in your subscribers. Tama po ba yun?
I have no exact figure, Your Honor, but
But there was a dramatic increase.
yes,
Hindi
Your
lang
Honor.
siguro ito, hindi lang po siguro ito yung online payment ng mga pagkain, delivery ng mga sapatos, at iba pa. Can you now place on record how much can be attributed to Isabong sa dramatic increase na subscribers ng GCash?
The isang top-up, Your Honor, does not represent a significant portion of the revenue of GCash as a corporate.
Kailan?
Opo.
I would advise GCash to follow the very good corporate social responsibility action taken by PLDT and Smart the other day. The other day they came into an agreement, and it's all over the mainstream media today, that henceforth they will be putting several measures that would prevent child online abuse. And I'm saying this because I would like to zero in again the questions I asked you. Sagot na tayo, Mr. Chairman, that was the first hearing. Kung paano nakakapaglaro itong mga bata. And is Pay Maya here? Parang wala. Pay Maya. Bakit na yung Manyo Brothers? So siguro, I'd like to take advantage of your presence here, and you can perhaps educate me in this committee, Attorney Escoto, being a representative. You're the president of GCash, right? Can you open your microphone?
No, Your Honor, I'm not the president of GCash. I'm one of the legal counsels of GCash.
How long have you been with GCash?
For 2 years, Your Honor.
Matagal-tagal na po yan. Yun na po yung simula nung Mr. Chairman, I now see the arrival of the Manyo Brothers, pero pwede bang ipatapos ko na ito para ma-excuse na natin mamaya si Attorney Scott habang padating yung Manyo Brothers. Alam mo, Attorney Scotto, ganun din ang Pay Maya kung nakikinig. At kung nandito ang DTI, is DTI here? DTI? Pwede pa upuin natin ang DTI. Nandiyan na rin lang pala kayo eh. Kayo pala yung nandyan sa likuran. Na-out na ba ang DTI? Can you be seated, ma'am? Dito kayo, baka hindi pa namin alam ang swab results ng Manyo Brothers. Dito kayo sa DTI. Baka negative pala. Mr. Chairman, can we have the DTI representatives
DTI, ma'am,
be
dito.
seated and be sworn?
Dito, malapit dito.
Sandali na lang po to, Mr. Chairman, para mamaya dire-diretso tayo sa
You have the floor.
sa
Importante yung,
criminal aspect.
importante yung sa'yo, Senator Tolentino. Patuloy mo yan.
Ms. Raisa Faminal. Comsec, can we have the oath administered to Ms. Raisa Faminal?
Please raise your right hand, ma'am. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this investigation, ma'am? Thank you, ma'am. Please take your seat.
Salamat, Ms. Faminal. Narinig niyo po yung tanong ko kanina. Ang sabi ni GCash, hindi naman daw nag-increase ng malaki yung kanilang subscribers kahit naka-lockdown tayo at hindi attributable ito doon sa Isabong. Naniniwala po kayo doon sa DTI, on the part of DTI? Kasi delivery tayo ng pagkain, lahat siyempre lalaki yung So yung Isabong hindi malaki yung karagdagan?
Sir, we're sorry, but
Pwede mo alisin yung mo para ayan.
good morning, Mr. Senator. Sorry, but we are not really privy to the percentage of the isabong dun po sa profits ni Maya right now. But
So wala
we
kayong
can-
records, ibig sabihin.
Sir,
Sana
I
pag
am not
pupunta kayo sa committee hearing, alam niyo naman ang ang topic, ang agenda natin dito, sana be prepared.
Yes, sir.
Kasi pagdating ng budget hearing nyo, yan din ang itatanong ko uli sa inyo. Malamang pag nag-budget hearing kayo, bago na yung DTI secretary, yan uli itatanong ko.
Yes, sir.
Pagdating ng confirmation sa Commission on Appointments ng bagong DTI secretary sa bagong administrasyon, yan din uli yung itatanong ko. Kaya siguro tulungan mo na yung departamento mo na magayat-gayat natin to, ano ba yung naging increase.
Yes, sir. We will check it.
So,
Senator Tolentino, may I butt in?
yes.
Yeah, Atty. Escoto, sinabi mo kanina na hindi significant yung contribution ng isabong doon sa total activities ng GCash. Am I correct?
I said, Your Honor, the revenue on top up of in relation
Pwede mo tanggalin mo muna yung para maklaro. Okay.
revenues generated on the top up transactions relating to Pitmasters does not represent a significant portion of the revenues of GCash.
Hindi significant yung, sabi nga ni Atong ang 2 billion a day yung kanilang pera na umiikot yan sa isabong, 2 billion a day. At ang majority of these transactions were made through GCash. Kukunti lang ang napupunta sa Paymaya. Hindi significant yun, yung ganun kalaking movement of cash flow using your platform.
Hindi po kasi lahat ng Pitmasters transactions nangyayari po sa GCash. Meron silang web-based at saka manual betting stations. Meron silang mga agents po. So
Okay,
hindi
okay,
lahat pumupunta sa GCash ang mga players.
Yeah, but still, Pitmaster lang ha. Pitmaster lang ito. 2 billion, di ba? Sabi niya itong ang 2 billion a day sa Pitmaster alone. Excluding yung 6 other licenses. But anyway, that's your opinion. Pero sa akin, malaki yun ha. Kasi sabi nga na, kahit na hindi dumadaan sa inyo yung sa mga agent, di ba? Hindi dumadaan sa inyo yung sa
Hindi po,
agent.
hindi po.
Anyway, tanungin natin uli yung pero ako, significant para sa akin yun. Go ahead, Senator Tolentino.
Siguro po, Mr. Chairman, DTI and if BSP is listening here, kasi BSP ang nagre-regulate sa kanila, can provide us with the records. Ganun kalaki yung chunk nung galing sa isabong. And I don't really believe that the delivery of Shopee, of Lazada, would match the profits coming from isabong subscribers. Kasi yung mga betting station, kulang-kulang lang yan. But moving forward, Mr. Chairman, sinabi nung huling hearing na protektado daw po ang mga bata. Nabanggit ko kanina, yung PLDT Smart, may mga ginagawa ngayon. GCash is Globe. So, gusto ko malaman kung ano yung proteksyon para hindi talaga makapag-isabong yung mga minors. Pwede kang mag-bat-in, Miss Raisa Faminal. And I'm sure, coming from the words of Paymaya also, wala lang ang Paymaya dito. Bago lang daw silang player sa isabong, mas matagal na si GCash. I have nothing against GCash, malaking tulong ninyo. But going to the technicalities of this, can you educate me, Atty. Scott? Can you educate the committee? Can you educate those who are listening live now through various social media platforms and mainstream media? How do you really protect and prevent children from engaging in isabong? Can you educate me as to the difference between click wrap and browse trap? Pag pindot mo nun, may lalagay, maraming mga lumalabas-labas sa baba, I agree. Pindot ka. Minsan, dadaling ka doon sa ibang link. Ano po ang lumalabas ngayon? Is it a click wrap or browse wrap? Bigyan kita ng, alam mo naman siguro ito, the click wrap would refer to a website agreement which would require the end user to click I agree, an I agree icon, thus creating a contract wherein the user agrees to submit to the terms of the licensor. The licensor here is GCash. And then if it is, I'm going forward kasi pinapadali ko na yung tanong ko, if it is a browse wrap, you will be given a separate web page accessible to another hyperlink. Paano mapoprotektahan dito ang mga kabataan? Tayo, pag open mo, kahit hindi ka minor, I agree. Para matapos na I agree. Diba? So, can you edify us? Can you educate us on what your company's platform is to protect the minors? Mr. Chairman.
Your Honor, the minors have restricted the usage. They restrict access to Pitmaster's platform, Your Honor. But when it comes to registration, we require minors to secure their parental consent and submit their certificate of birth and other school IDs. And we also require their parents or guardians to have a photo capture holding their IDs so that we are sure that they really secured their parents' consent.
I revert back to my question. Ano yung ginagamit yung paraan sa I agree? Yung bang I agree na kahit sino lang I agree, or meron pang mga tanong para masigurado yung I agree ay talagang hindi minor yung nag-I agree?
Ngayon po, dinagdagan po namin ang submission ng mga yung mga dokumento that will establish that they are minors. Dito sa Pitmasters, sa isabong platform, below 21 hindi po allowed. So if they browse through the GLife platform, kung they are registered as minors, they cannot gain access to the Pitmasters platform.
I'm not satisfied with the answer kasi medyo technical nga yun. But then again, you were here when I gave my opening statement. How would you have prevented the isabong from continuing during a Good Friday? Kasi kung si GCash ay sarado ng Good Friday pero mahirap isara kasi may mga nagpapadeliver ng pagkain o baka naman pwedeng isara dahil doon sa magsasabong, you could have contributed a lot in terms of your corporate social responsibility as well as the preservation of the real faith of this nation during that Good Friday solemn commemoration by hanging up your access. O kahit mag-isabong, kung walang GCash, wala sanang isabong noong Good Friday. Kaya ba sanang gawin yun? Looking back, nangyari na. Nangyari na. O mas okay pa. May pasok ba kayo noong May pasok ba kayong ang GCash noong Good Friday? Kasi kung walang taong nag-ooperate dun sa mga terminal siguro ninyo, baka hindi rin maka-access, di ba?
Wala po kami pasok nung Good Friday, Ron. Pero may mga tumatao doon na skeletal force during that time.
So kaya tuloy yung isabong kahit Biyernes Santo, di ba? Pero kung kayo yung nagsabi sa siguro na, teka muna, Good Friday ngayon, pahinga muna tayo, alang-alang sa Semana Santa, alang-alang sa isang araw na ibibigay natin sa Panginoon, hindi sana natuloy. But be that as it may, Mr. Chairman, there are lots of lessons to be culled from this investigative exercise, which would really should be placed in our statute books. 1, magkano ba yung dapat ibuwis? 2, sino yung dapat mag-regulate? 3, sino yung magbabantay sa lahat ng ito, maging doon sa nagre-regulate? Paikot-ikot na tayo, Mr. Chairman, hindi ko na matanong siguro si GCash, hindi ko na matanong si DTI, but just be prepared and help your next secretary Hindi ko rin matanong si Paymaya, wala dito. Hindi ko matanong si Bureau of Internal Revenue, absent din. Hindi ko rin matanong ang Bangko Sentral kung nandito. But that probably should be the entire universe of my future line of questioning should we have a really comprehensive, if we craft a really comprehensive law that would tackle all of this, Mr. Chairman. Wala na po akong tanong kay Attorney Escoto. I have nothing against GCash. Malaki na itutulong niyo sa ating commerce and economy. Ganon din po sa DTI. Gusto ko lang po maliwanagan ito.